So we didn't miss out on anything. Okay, that's good to know. So we're going to start flies and spiders. Now I want to reply to what you said. Now what's interesting is the name kind of gives us a hint as to what that elvish cordial is made of. Oh, let's hold on.
Oh, can't fusticate these dwarves. They knew better than to get lost in Mirkwood Forest. Well, I'd better find them.
Okay, let me pause this and then we'll. I want to answer about the Mirovor. So the Mirovor, what's interesting is anytime you're wondering something like that, what was it made from? What was the ingredient that made this? What we can look at is the linguistics behind it. So Mirovor is a Bjorn is totally cut out. No, Bjorn is in this. They kind of glazed over him there, but he's in it towards the end of the game. As a matter of fact, the whole last mission is that a group of goblin mages have him pinned down, and you have to take them out so that he could go and kill the Great Goblin and end the Battle of the Five Armies. Mirovor is a Sindarin word. In Quenya, it would be Mirovora. And what's interesting is that there's sort of this. It's never been. And hey, Adby, how's it going? It's never been glossed properly, and there was somebody that said, it means precious juice, and don't believe that because that's not true. It's actually derived from the language of the Valar, where it was Mirobosse, and it was honey wine. So this tells us that it was mead that Gandalf was giving them sips of a sort of a magical mead. And since the original form of Mirobosse, which became, the Quenya Lissa Mirovora, which became Mirovor, this tells us that, it's from the Valar. So it's sort of like Lembas. Lembas was something that Yavanna actually came up with and taught to a certain sect of elvish women that were called the Yavanildil. We know the ring could increase its size to slip off, but could it shrink to keep from slipping off? I suppose if it wanted to stay with its bearer. I have always believed that if it wanted to do this, it absolutely could sort of constrict itself. But I do wonder why it didn't try this when Frodo put on the ring around the Nazgul, or around the Seat of Seeing. So it's possible because it makes itself small enough to fit on a hobbit's hand when it was designed for Sauron. So we could definitely say that it can make itself smaller. It probably just never had that inkling. Okay, so the good news is that we have not lost the footage of Riddles in the Dark. It is here on my YouTube channel in a draft state, so I'll have to publish that fairly soon. Okay, yes, for telling me about the ring. I know how to use it. Yeah. So you just do this. Yeah, there it is. And what's cool is when you use the ring, notice how everything grows dim. It gets darker. Now the ring has an energy meter that you can see, and it fills up when you're not using it. This prevents you from abusing this as a power. Of course, Bilbo never had any sort of limitation in the book. As a matter of fact, he once wore it for a period of time that was probably greater than a month. And that was when he was trapped sort of in Thranduil's palace, and sort of flitting about and stealing food and trying to figure out how to release the dwarves until he finally figured out a way to do it. And he had the ring on that entire time, so it doesn't actually tax him, but from a game design standpoint, it makes perfect sense for him to not be able to just always have it on. Okay. Oh, we have these plant guys. Hold on. Ugh. All right. How do I block? I forgot how to block. Okay. There's a way to... Oh, that's not it. No, that's to throw rocks. That's the ring. I think that's the block. Well, that's crouching. But I think that might act as a guard button. That's targeting. That's switching weapons. Okay. I believe... Oh, wait. I know how to do it. You block by targeting the enemy and then hold back. Sort of like it's like a fighting game. Oh, I got an antidote potion. Thankfully, I didn't have to pick that lock. The lock picking is kind of annoying. But I do like that the idea of Bilbo being a burglar, that lock picking would be in the video game version. It's just kind of a pain in the butt. It's mushrooms for health.
This is Dory's helmet. I do hope he's all right.
You'd think that we'd pick it up and bring it to him, but... Poor Dory. Spiders. Ugh. Here comes Shelob's children. Shelob is interesting because it's not really a name. It's Old English. Well, not really Old English. It's actually sort of modern English. And she, referring to a woman. And then lob is a sort of maybe late period Middle English, lob meaning spider. So quite literally, Shelob is Lady Spider. Can I get up there? Well, he's not grabbing the ledge, so I guess not. That's where I came from, isn't it? I'm already turned... Oh, but here we go, here we go. I'm already turned around. Oh, that's the ring. Here we go. How do I... Oh my god, I'm already poisoned. That's not good. I'm forgetting how to play the game, actually. It is pretty good as a Zelda clone. I'm just trying to... Oh god. Remember how to play it, because I don't remember the controls right now, and it's kind of leading to disaster. Well, here's some health. There's a way to use items, and I'm not remembering. Okay. Okay, I just used a potion. I'm not sure what button I pressed that did it. I was kind of pressing everything.
That water looks foul.
Yeah, you don't want to... Alright. Oh, right. Yeesh. Okay. Alright, we're good. That's a save point. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's been so long that I don't remember how to play it. But yeah, it's pretty good as a Zelda clone. It can be both incredibly easy Stone Toad. And yes, this is on GameCube, Matt Damon. It's also available on a few other consoles. I know it's on PlayStation 2, and I believe there's an Xbox version of it. There's also the same developer who did this, also did the Fellowship of the Ring, which I have not played yet.
Evil spirits. Minions of the
Necromancer. Alright, Wraiths. Alright. Oh, God, how do I friggin' lock on now? That's the one ring. That's the lock on. Okay. Now I just have to get Sting out and... Okay. That's how I block. Okay. Oh, yeah, I'll answer that. Your questions are not annoying. I am using a... Oh, he's still around. I'm using an Xbox One... Not Xbox One. Xbox Series X controller. There we go. All right. All right. I'm getting the hang of it. There we go. I couldn't remember the lock-on mechanic, how to do it. I got the hang of it now. I want to heal myself, but I don't remember how to do that. Okay, you press down on the D-pad to heal yourself. Okay. All right.
A rotten tree.
I do like whoever it is that voices Bilbo in this. I feel like he has a very Bilbo-ish voice. Dark Nut-like? Yes, sort of, yeah. This game's a lot simpler. If you're used to The Legend of Zelda, it's a lot simpler. Alright, let's see. I think we're going to need to... Alright. I don't throw the rock. There we go. He's not going to jump up that high. Alright, I see what I'm doing. No. Not quite. It can be a little daunting figuring out how to proceed sometimes. And obviously the one thing is that this is more linear level based than Zelda. If you're interested in a series of games that's very much like Zelda, though, I'm rather fond of the Ys games, which is spelled as Y-S. Alright. Well, he mentioned the tree was rotten, so I probably just have to knock something down. Especially that there are rocks around. Perhaps I can... There we go. That helped. Alright. I do see a chest there. Oh god, here we go. With the lock picking. Very similar to BioShock. If you've ever played BioShock, it's like BioShock, the lock picking. Alright, let me see what this is all about. Fire rocks, alright. There is some stuff going on over here, though. Yeah. I wonder if I could, yeah. Not quite. Maybe this? No? I was hoping to get up there, but I don't think it's happening right now. We don't have to get everything, 'cause there's enough. If you're not leveled up all the way by the end, the last level, there's kind of like a part with endless orcs that you could fight to level yourself up. Oh, not pleasant. Some money. Okay. This is not personally how I envision Mirkwood Forest, but you know, we beggars can't be choosers sometimes. Mirkwood Forest, I always imagined it being a lot, and I do mean a lot darker than this. There we go. When Bilbo reaches his hand out, you know that you can actually reach the next thing.
Oh my.
Alright, here is a save point. Let's save it. There's not a lot to talk about here. In Mirkwood Forest, they pretty much they went in a straight line through this secret path. They were going to take the more accepted path, and Bjorn told them, don't take that. It's not safe anymore. It's all washed out at the end and such. Would Frodo having Sting earlier have helped him out on Weathertop? No, that would have been worse. The reason it would have been worse is that all blades that touch the Witch King perish. So if he had slashed at him with Sting, not only would have not affected the Witch King, but Sting would have been destroyed, which would have left him without a sword. What would have helped him is the armor. The mithril coat that Bilbo gave him in Rivendell.
Hello.
Who are you? You don't look like any elf.
I don't think I need to tell you that Corwin is
I am Corwin, huntsman from
an original character.
Hello. I'm Bilbo Baggins, a hobbit of the Shire, and I'm looking for my friends. Did you see 13 dwarves run through here?
Imagine asking someone that.
But I did see the spiders carry about a dozen wriggling bundles of spider silk through that web. My friends were not so lucky. The spiders killed every man in my camp. including my brother.
I am sorry about your brother.
The additions to the story in this are really not that bad. Better than the Hobbit movies, anyway.
To the north.
I mean, it adds a few original characters, including an elf lady, and they're not really bad, yeah. Yeah, W2. I only saw 11 dwarves. Sorry, I couldn't help. Yeah, Matt Damon, you like Bioshock? Bioshock was a lot of fun. Corwin is, of course, an original character. There are men that live in Mirkwood Forest, absolutely. They are woodsmen, hunters. A lot of them are sort of descendants of what in the First Age were known as Easterlings. In the Third Age, Easterling had a different meaning. It was the Men of Rune, which is even further to the east. But the Men of Rovanion, some of them a bit related to the Rohirrim. Not all of them, obviously. But there were men that lived in Mirkwood Forest, absolutely. All right, so I think we're going up here. No. All right, he can't jump quite high. I seem to remember this part. Oh, here we go. Yeah. 7 leering weirdos running after a young girl. Oh. So you know what's interesting is right around the same time that this game came out, there was a game based on Snow White. But they couldn't... See, the thing about Snow White is the idea of the 7 dwarves is... This is dangerous. I think I should... try and snipe them, at least a few of them out from a distance. I don't have many rocks, though. Because that's a lot of plants. That's my last rock. Okay. Alright, we'll have to stick and move. There's Sting. So you can see how this could be a very dangerous part. So, there was a video game based on Snow White, but it was not based on the Disney film, which, incidentally, Tolkien hated that film. It was based on the, just the concept of Snow White, the fairy tale. And the whole idea of the 7 dwarves was something that was original to Disney, but they wanted them in the video game, and they could not call it Snow White and the 7 dwarves. So what they did, you're going to laugh at this, they called the game Snow White and the 7 Clever Boys, which I think that just sounds so much worse. Alright. I'm pretty close to a level up, so I don't want to target that guy. Back up. Run. Yeah, so if you ever see it, it's not a common game, nor is it any good, but or you could just look it up on Google. And thank you for the follow. Oh, I know who that is. I know who that is. Say hi in the chat, if you would. You don't have to, but I know who that is. I just spoke to you on Quora a little while ago. Yeah, it's better than Leering Weirdos, absolutely. There was a film version of Snow White that I saw on Showtime a very long time ago, which was very dark, sort of almost gothic sort of take on Snow White. And there weren't any dwarves in it, but there were some Leering Weirdos. But yeah, there is a video game out there. It's called Snow White and the 7 Clever Boys, and I can just imagine how crazy that would make Tolkien if you could, explain the concept of video games. Hey, Geralt, yes, about the sprites. So you saw my answer to you. Okay, good. I edited the answer, and when I put it on YouTube, I'm going to, sort of think, hey, here's an example of how I answered a question that I didn't have full context for, and then was given context. Maybe I should do this part's very dangerous. Oh my god, Bilbo. I should definitely level up from this, though. Poor Bilbo is going through it right now with these plants. Alright, we got that guy. There were no crazy carnivorous plants in Mirkwood, but it was mentioned that there's a level up. It just was a very hostile area. So for anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, the fellow that just came into the Twitch chat, whose name is Geralt of Rivera, he asked me a question on Quora about a passage in the Fall of Gondolin referring to fairy creatures, and I could not find the passage. And I said, and I checked. I didn't assume that he was making it up. I just assumed that maybe he was thinking of a different book, like maybe it was Lost Tales or something. But I couldn't find it no matter what. And I did give, talk about how originally they were called, before they were called elves, they were called fairies. And even the idea still persists in The Hobbit, because Bilbo mentions that there is a Hobbit myth, sort of a rumor maybe, I would say, that one of his ancestors on the Took side married a fairy, and the idea is sort of that some hobbits who maybe don't believe in elves would refer to them as fairies, and Bilbo just sort of rejects that as nonsense. That was rough, but we did it. I feel like I should save the game. Give me a second to do that, actually. There we go. That's saved. But anyway, the way I'm gonna present that on YouTube when I put it on my YouTube, Geralt, is here's an example of
Nothing like this in Hobbiton.
that I didn't have the proper context, and that it was added later in a comment. Which, if I ever misunderstand the intent of a question, feel free to tell me that I got it wrong. And in this case, it was that he was reading a German version of The Fall of Gondolin. And in that version... Oh, God. Oh, I'm still around. I'm still fine. Okay. Oh, this is bad, though. I'm poisoned. And can I... Yeah, all right. Let's just kind of... That worked out fine in the end. And in German, the word used was Feen, which would typically translate to fairy. But in this case, the word in English was... I didn't mean to do that. The word in English was fae, which is a little different. But originally, when Tolkien was writing these stories, and he had the idea of the Ainur, who at this point were gods. They were not yet angels. But there were tiers of them. There were the Valar, the Maiar, and then there was a third lower tier called the Fae. And there was sort of three types of Fae, one of which were wind spirits called sylphs. There were more woodland spirits called... Oh, God. That happened. Woodland spirits that he called sprites, which is what was being referred to in the primitive Fall of Gondolin. And then there were also mermaids. I think what I want to do is... No. I think I need to grab this and push it away, and then so that the water fills up. Yes, but now I got to get on there before I drown because Bilbo can't swim. Marrying an elf would not yield immortal children, but does give longer life in general, maybe explaining the old Took. Well, it would do more than that, Stone Toad. It would actually explain why hobbits generally live longer. Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, I had just saved it, so it's okay. Yeah, those brown vines you can't hang from very long. So, all right. All right. I'm going to have to plan that out a little better. This is a very Zelda-style puzzle, except Link can swim for a little while, whereas Bilbo cannot. And I remember the first time that I ever played this, which was on Twitch, a friend of mine asked, is it just a thing that hobbits can't swim? I said, yeah, hobbits are notoriously bad swimmers. As a matter of fact, I think I can just jump to there. Like, I think I can make that. That's how Bilbo's parents died. They were boating, and they drowned. Oh God! All right. And there's sort of a fan theory, and I don't mind fan theories, but this one I particularly dislike. That Gollum drowned Frodo's parents, but there's absolutely no way to think. Like, oh, the green ones are the worst. All right, got it. All right. The reason that I do that jumping attack is because you'll notice there's a little bit of a shockwave that comes down, which is an attack I had to earn through special scrolls that you can find in the game. But it's on cooldown. You can't spam it. Ugh. Spiders are my least favorite enemy in this because they come up to you very quickly. And they usually attack en masse. Oh, he got me. And when you hear that little flourish, that usually means there's no more enemies in the area. Oh. Okay.
This oil should help burn those thick webs.
All right, let me, Oh! Of course I got poisoned. Oh, I forget how to use the antidote, though. Well, I'm out of potions anyway. Spiders are much better in the trilogy. Well, there was really only Sheila, really. We're not going that way right now. Bunch of money over here. Alright, yeah, there's multiple paths. Right. There's an antidote potion, but I don't know how to... Oh, I'm not on Sting. No wonder I can't cut that. I don't know how to use it. I forget how to... There is an inventory that you can bring up. Maybe if I... Can of oil. Yeah, required. I think it might be specific to a certain spot. But yeah, Meteosaureal, I mean, really the only spider in The Lord of the Rings was Shelob. Alright. I see. This looks like this might actually be the proper path, though. I got an antidote. See, I don't know how to use the antidotes. At some point, I sort of I am using Dolphin. Yes, this is the Dolphin emulator. At some point, I forgot how to play this. Basically, that's what happens when you. Okay, that's where I came from. Or is it? No, it is because I came from over there. I just haven't been over that way. I wonder if I can get over there. I want to try it, but let me make a little save here. I'm not here to impress people with how good I am at the game. I'm here to talk about Tolkien lore. I think I have to jump to this one first. Alright. This one's safe because it's not brown. Did the ring give Bilbo the ability to hear the spiders, or were they just speaking normally? It was mentioned that when you have the ring on, you can understand all matters of evil creatures. And we see this actually in The Return of the King, and that's why Sam is able to understand orc tongue. Oh, you're talking about a video game. It was an underdeveloped RPG for PC by some guy. You played the demo of it. That was the trilogy that you played. Oh, I see. So you played sort of a homebrew sort of thing. Do you think that you should maybe be able to find that? Like a link to it or something. That's really interesting. All right, I got up here. I don't think there's much else to do in this area. I think we're going to want to just jump to the log. Oh, come on. All right, we're good, we're good. Oh, that's unfortunate. Let me go ahead and load that back up. Yeah, I would be interested in that if you could maybe furnish a link. I mean, this is just for some bonus crystals and some money, but the crystals do level you up after that blue meter fills up. Okay. All right, there's health there if I need it. Oh no. Okay. Well, if you could link me to that, I would be really interested to see that. The better translation would be nymph. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Here's the thing. For the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit, it's perfectly fine to read them in whatever language you can find them, because most of those translations are actually done by J.R.R. Tolkien. But for anything that was released after his death, it gets a little dicey. Here we go. And obviously he was a polyglot who could speak many, many, many languages, and he studied languages. He was a professor of languages. But he could speak German, but he didn't make that translation. Come on. You gotta wait for your power attack and hit them in the belly. The big spiders like this. Alright, he's almost done. There we go. Very cool. And I needed rocks. And having rocks to throw actually makes perfect sense in the context of The Hobbit, because it is actually mentioned, and I always found this to be sort of a disturbing passage. Hey, Almighty Santa, how's it going? The Hobbit adventures to get some pipeweed. Yeah, he's got to get back home so he can partake in the pipeweed. There isn't a shield. No, you block with your weapon just by. You have to have what do you call it? You have to be locked onto an enemy, and then you just hold back to block. If you've ever played Tenchu, it's sort of like that. Bilbo, you can... I was going to say. Like, come on, Bilbo. What are you doing? So wait, hold on. I've lost track of what I was saying. What was I talking about? We mentioned the translations. Oh, well. This is an item I'm going to need.
Oh, someone must have lost this. I'd better keep it safe.
He doesn't say what it is, but we have to use the oil on the campfire. Okay. Oh, I found where I can actually use the items. Okay. The signet ring. Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What was I saying, guys? Well, I lost a little health there. Oh, the rocks. Yeah, there's a just. Thank you, Jackson. There's a rather, what I think is a rather disturbing passage in The Hobbit that mentions that Bilbo is really good at throwing rocks at birds. I always wondered why he would do such a thing. I mean, it's in the context of him. Oh, almost. I need to save it before I attempt again because I'm gonna die. It's mentioned in the context of, hey, Alice. Alice, could you just got here? I know, but could you get a Discord link for the people on the YouTube side for me, please? And Mogul, could you do that on the Twitch side as well? I was wondered why would Bilbo like throw rocks at birds? It was mentioned that birds would see him coming, and all right, that's unfortunate, and would fly away because they knew that he could hit them pretty accurately from a distance with a rock. Oh. Don't mash. Ah, I was panicking there. But it's mentioned in the context of him being able to kill spiders with rocks from a distance in Mirkwood Forest. I feel good about this one. Oh, I hit the red! Oh no. You know what? It's because I said I feel good about it. Well, you guys did that at the same exact time. Thank you, Moogle, and thank you, Alice. Oh, I got a health potion that I desperately needed. Okay. Oh, I didn't realize this was going to be a... Oh, and I am poisoned, so let's see if I could use an antidote. Let me save it again before I attempt this. So if anyone wants to join my Discord, it's not Tolkien specific, but I do talk about Tolkien on there, and you could always chat with me on there. There's a link to it both on Twitch and on YouTube. Let me save this. Alright, that's good. And I got an antidote. I just used an antidote, but I just also got one. Alright, I want to get up there, which... Oh, that's easy to get to. I think. Let me take a look. Actually, it doesn't look like I could easily get there, but I'm not worried about it. Oh, I can't get out this way, can I? I have to find my other way out. Alright, that's no problem. Like, a lot of these areas are very optional, but this game does sort of reward exploring and not just going from objective to objective. Out of all the Tolkien games I've played, and I haven't played a great many of them, this is one of the better ones. And there's a reason that I haven't played a great many of them. Do I have it? Do I have the reason sitting here? I think I do. Oh, I don't see it. It was because as a young fellow of around 15 or so years old, I walked into a KB toy store or something, and this is wrong. And oh, I see what I gotta do. And I bought a game called The Lord of the Rings. Oh, that's good to hear. Lord of the Rings Volume 1, and it was terrible. And I was never able to beat it. But I've beaten it since then on stream. And on YouTube we finished it, but it's pretty terrible. Not at all accurate to the games, and just kind of a... So I think I just need to find it in here somewhere. No... It says use the oil on the campfire, but it might be a different campfire. You know. Because it's not I can find it if I go into here, but I don't know how to actually use it. Unless I have to use the stick? No, I'm not going to worry about it. Maybe it's a different campfire. There's some health over here. You don't see the chat on the screen? Oh, yeah, hold on. Let me fix that. Thank you for pointing that out. I'm going to have to snag it from a different scene. Because this is the YouTube scene. So actually, I think it's here, but it's hidden. Let me find it. There it is. Let's move. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me move that over. Oh, come on now. There we go. I swear it won't move. It keeps thinking I want to grab something else. Maybe I'll just nudge it with my... For some reason, it keeps snagging a different... Oh, it's locked! Okay, now we fixed it. Alright, there we go. It's covering up Bilbo's face a little bit, but that's okay. Thank you for pointing that out, that the chat wasn't on the screen. Because that's a good way for people who are on YouTube to see the Twitch chat and people on Twitch to see the YouTube chat and sometimes know who the heck is he talking to. All right, we went down there. Yeah, I think it's a different campfire that I have to light up because that wasn't it. I did want to explore up in this direction. Yeah, I imagine Mirkwood has been a lot darker than this, but then to really do Mirkwood justice, it would have to be very, very dark. You wouldn't be able to see anything. Buffalo chicken pinwheels, that sounds delicious. I think it's this one, right? No, maybe not. Oh, okay, don't do that. There's no place where I'm prompted to use it, so maybe I should talk to him.
I say, Corwin, I found this ring
It's his
in the
ring.
camp. Is this yours?
My brother's ring.
Oh, his brother.
It's been in our family for generations.
Corwin!
Thank you.
Sounds
for finding this
like a
keepsake.
Tolkien-ish name, right? Alright, that was a little side quest, but as to actually light this, I don't know how to do it. Let's see. This is definitely where I have to pour the oil on the fire. I just don't know how. Yeah, burn away the thick web by using the oil on the campfire. I mean, I see that I have the oil. I just don't know how to. Usually, you would be prompted, like it would say, like press B or something. But oh, Jesus! Let me not get killed constantly running into it. I found the oil. Maybe I should talk to him again.
Perhaps you could find some oil at the camp to the north.
I think that's what the problem was.
The thick webs.
That he didn't tell me to do it yet. Well, it's still not prompting me, and I'm afraid to get closer to it. Let me save it because there's a save point over here. I did find the oil. Maybe I should talk to him again, is what it really comes down to. But let's save it anyway. So, a fun thing about the chapter Flies and Spiders is that you barely remember this one. Hey, Coyote. Yeah, it's a good game. A little weird, but good game. There was a couple of insults that Bilbo said specifically to the spiders. Lazy Lob was one, and that goes into the whole idea of Lob meaning spider, like Shelob is Lady Spider. Also Cob, he mentioned Cob, which is the root of cobweb, but then he kept saying Addercop, which as a kid I thought it was just some nonsense word, but now it's interesting because Addercop is Old English for spider, and but it also refers to sort of like pus, and the idea that if you smash a spider that the insides look like pus, and that's why it was insulting to them to be called Addercop. And a bit later, not a bit later, but a lot later, they had discovered this sort of fossil of a creature that was sort of cross between a spider and a scorpion, and it was sort of this very primitive arachnid that existed a long time ago. And hey, Sads, how's it going? Light yourself a flame. That would work, but I would also die. So they named it Addercopus, and it was actually the Hobbit that influenced
Perhaps
that.
you could find some oil at the camp to the north.
Yeah.
Then you could burn through
Yeah, he's just saying that. Okay. I don't know. I get close. You're supposed to pour the oil here, but I don't know how to do it. And I've played this game before, so that's kind of... Maybe if I was to... I was trying to do like a Zelda trick. I didn't think that would actually work. Let me just look it up. When in doubt, look it up, right? Okay. Let's see. Flies and spiders. Okay, we got the oil. It just says walk over to this and press B. I tried that, but... Oh my, I guess I wasn't close enough. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier, Coyote, that in this game, for whatever reason, I think it was just a program to make it easier. The sword always glows, unfortunately. It doesn't actually have the whole, like, goblins are near thing. Unfortunately, there is no mechanic in this for sensing goblins, because it's always glowing. Alright, well... Oh, here we are.
Nori's Cape. I must be on the right
Oh, we found Nori's Cape. Alright. Ooh. That's good. The green ones will... Poison... Oh, I am poisoned now. Let me see. I have antidotes. Let me use one of those. Alright, because I have no health potions right now. Oh, I'm poisoned. I'm probably dead. Yeah. Okay. That's unfortunate. But that's okay. There's always goblins near. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I had just saved it, so it's not too bad. And now I know I just have to get just a little bit closer to the fire to make this work. I haven't played Shadow of War or Shadow of Mordor. I'm definitely going to stream those, though. I have them both. I had to get really close to it to light that up. So, I know that there's sort of the idea that Shelob has like a human form. It's nonsense. But at the same time, if you know... See, it's not that Shelob decided to take the form of a giant spider, but that Ungoliant did. Now, Ungoliant was sort of this primordial spirit that took a spidery form, and then it mated with other spirits that rose up out of the earth that had taken spider form. And Shelob is the daughter of them. Shelob is probably incarnate, though. The idea of the Shadow games is really interesting because they don't fit it in with the books at all. For example, the identities that they give to the Nazgul don't make sense because a lot of those characters weren't even born when the Nazgul were created. However, I always see it as sort of like the Book of Lost Tales, that those games the events of them vaguely happened in some way or other, but this is just a tale told in like Gondor, for example. Oh, now this is interesting. You mentioned the Gollum game. I didn't buy it. I was sort of excited about it until I learned a few things prior to its release, specifically about the way that it was handling DLC. I didn't care for that. Okay, watch out. I really can't afford to get poisoned more than once. Damn. Alright. Well, actually, I have plenty of antidotes. I just need to cure it right away if I get poisoned. Oh, God. How'd I get poisoned again? Ah. Oh, no. But anyway, I thought to myself what I would like to do is, yes, I would like to play through the Gollum game, specifically for a YouTube stream or a series of YouTube streams, and just sort of take it apart in that sense. But, oh man, I don't want to pay money for that game, man. It doesn't look very good. So I'll probably wait for it to be on sale for like really, really cheap on Steam, and, you know.
That is clear.
Alright, yeah, this part's tough because I don't have a lot of health and I don't have any of the potions that I have decided are Muravor. Elvish Mead. Maybe if I kind of go over here, put my back to the water. Oh, God. Alright, okay. Oh, I did better, but not good. I did better, but not good. But yeah, I would like to play that a little bit, or have it fall off an internet truck. Yeah, that's a possibility as well. I mean, the B button is also the sword button. That's why you're seeing that happen. The issue with the Gollum game is that they started selling downloadable content and before it was even released. And there were two things that caught my eye that I thought, well, that's strange. One was an emote pack, which is you could make Gollum, emote in these ways, but it's a single-player game with no sort of... Oh, God, even if you block the attack, you can get poisoned, so that's just great. I gotta just throw rocks at them if I see them. I wanted that health. Watch out. Got it. Got poisoned, but I got it. Oof. The internet is not a truck. It's a series of tubes. Yeah. Unfortunately, that meme came from a guy who was making a fairly ridiculous and specious argument against net neutrality. But it was funny. I'll admit the whole series of tubes thing. I'm going to save it. Was pretty amusing. Let me go ahead and save that. But anyway, yeah. The other... so the emotes don't make sense to me. Oh, it's a potion. The emotes don't make sense to me because why would you need emotes in a game that you use single player? And the other thing that bothered me was they sold a language pack for certain NPCs to speak Sindarin, and that should have been either in the game to begin with or not included at all. To have to pay for Elvish seems kind of ridiculous to me. I don't see why you would do that. And they tried to justify it by stating that it's expensive and difficult to find people that speak Sindarin. But like I said, that should have been figured into the actual budget of the game. I'm not sure where to proceed to. There's no way I get across that river. I can't... Oh, I think those frogs are showing me that it might be shallow there? It doesn't look shallow. Yeah, I'm going to figure this out. Because there's Nori's Cape. Is Goldberry one of the sprites that Tolkien decided to keep, or is she something else? Oh, she's very interesting and very mysterious. She describes herself in a way that plays into that idea. The river woman's daughter. So my thought is that the sprites that were specific to water were the mermaids that didn't make it into the canon legendarium. Canon with quotes because nothing's really canon and everything is really canon. But she might be the daughter of one such creature. Hockey's coming back to your city. I didn't know you were a hockey fan. I thought you were only interested in... I'm going to save it here and attempt this. Basketball. Those frogs might have been telling me that it's safe. It's not safe. Okay. But that's okay because I saved it. My issue with this particular game is usually what you just saw, not really knowing how to proceed, even though I've played... Oh, wait, I can climb this. Okay, there we go. All right, we found it. All right. Okay. I knew it had to be a way up there. I just couldn't see that at first. Okay, I can jump that. I just need to use the stick for that. Okay. Ah. Poisoned again. Those green spiders are absolutely the worst. Oh, here's a save point. These levels are pretty long too. I'd like to... Oop, don't save there. Not that it matters, but... I'm not sure what you're referring to, Stone Toad. Oh, this is the area I saw earlier. Okay. Okay. No, I don't want to go down there. Let's see if I can make it over there. Okay. Whew. I believe it's a cutscene, the barrel part. Oh, I don't actually know. He was like a politician of some sort. I don't know what happened to him. Wraiths. There are a lot of elements of the Lord of the Rings in this game. For example, they do mention the Witch King and that these are specifically his minions. Alright, I don't know what's exploding there, but let me grab this health. Oh. Exploding. Come on. Throw it! Throw it! Okay. Alright. I lost like pretty much all the health that I had gained back. Alright. Because I've become bad at this. Whoa. Alright, I'm out of rocks. There's an archer, isn't there? Is that what's going on? Yeah. Oh no! Okay, that helped. I think there's another archer, though. Right over here. Well, I leveled up, so that helps. Oh, okay. Look at that. See, you were right. I figured if anybody was going to actually know the answer to that, it would be Alice. Oh, the exploding rocks really saved my bacon there. I forgot how exciting this game could be. See, I believe the barrel part is just a cutscene, because it's based off of the book. So, you know, it really would just be Bilbo riding on a barrel with no sort of excitement, you know. This is... Oh, I see. Okay. All right. All right, we got more wraiths. There's a Game Boy version. I'd have to try that. Yeah, I would be happy to try it and comment on the lore and everything. The next one that I want to do is the same people who made this made the Fellowship of the Ring. There's two different versions of it, but I want to play the PlayStation one. Actually, there's three different versions of it, but one of them's pretty much lost. All right, we got it. The goblins are pretty... the wraiths are pretty similar to goblins in the way that they behave, except that they often take out bows and start shooting you, which is pretty terrible. There's some health over there. The idea of mushrooms being health is sort of... It grosses me out a little bit, but... I'm going to save it. But it makes sense. Tolkien was really fond of mushrooms. And he reflected that in his Hobbits. Oh, that one wasn't even locked. Okay. All right. Oh, well, that was the exploding rocks. Okay. All right, I can see that this is going to be an experience. There's an actual save point over here, though. Let's use this. One scene that Hey, Paulie, how's it going? He was a really fun guy, yeah. One scene that I would have loved to have been reflected in this game in some sense is the part where Bilbo climbs up a tree and manages to look up over the canopy of Mirkwood. But we're actually already past that point in the story because he's separated from the dwarves. All right, we're gonna have to wait for that floating driftwood to come back. All right. Uh-oh. Alright, cooked. Alright. I'll try it again. Oh no. I'm already cooked, I think. Oh, maybe not. Come on. Alright. That was money! Okay. I want to get whatever that is. Come on, Bilbo. You know what? A blue urn. What is the blue urn? Well, it's something that I might need later, so. The cutscene sprite for Bilbo has a resemblance to Carl from Aqua Teen. Can you imagine that? Yeah, Frodo, I heard you got stabbed. I'll give you the armor so next time, you won't get stabbed. That's crazy. Alright, we're back here now. I'm trying to imagine that. Alright, oh! Wait, I want that. Usually out of all the crystals, the ones that are the blue ones, they're not worth a lot, but they sort of tell you, hey, this is the way you should be going. Alright, I see two different ways of handling this. Let's go this way first. Oh no, I fell. Huh, that's not good. You sent me a screenshot? Okay. Too wicked! I can't really do his voice right now. Hey there, meat man. Yeah, it's a little closer. Meatwad's easier, even though it's the same person doing the voice. All these hobbits out here, climbing vines, and like they know, they don't know. My voice has been a little rough the past couple of days, but that's okay. There's a red urn. All right, looks like I'm gonna need several urns. I wonder if I could just. Can I just make that? Yes. Okay. All right. All right. Drop down. Drop down. All right. I'm gonna save it just because that was really good, and I don't want to have to do it again. I'm definitely gonna need these urns for something. So yeah, before Peter Jackson had the idea of putting the Witch King in the Hobbit, this game did. Ooh, that was scary. You read you read from a writer on Quora how there was often depicted how the wraiths make noises like footsteps, or that the King of the Dead broke a spear and tossed it in front of Aragorn and his companions. What are your thoughts? The broken spear thing is accurate. The ring wraiths making sounds like footsteps. That part. That sounds like something. Oh, there's a yellow urn over there. That sounds like some conjecture that a Tolkien writer may have come up with. I'm not confident that I could make it over there. Seed cakes. Yeah. All right, the camera's completely. All right, I see what I gotta do. it never comes close enough to that island to hop to it, but I could probably use the stick to get over there. Because I think I'm going to need all the urns. You know, red, blue, and yellow, you know, we have the primary colors, but I probably am supposed to do it like this, actually. Instead of using the stick. All right, there's my yellow urn.
It looks as if 3 different objects
Yep,
fit on
and I
these
have them,
pedestals.
thankfully. Oh, that's not correct, but all right. All right. I didn't realize they had to be in that order. All right, red, blue, yellow. Sting would have been destroyed by the Witch King, but with Narsil or Androl, any blade. As a matter of fact, even the weapon that Mary used, the Dagger of Westerness, that was made specifically to kill the Witch King and did in fact make him vulnerable, and the blade that Eowyn used to strike him in the head, both of those were destroyed. Even as they killed him, they were destroyed. So absolutely, yeah. More wraiths. Oh, it's a white lord. There really shouldn't be whites in Mirkwood, but you know, for a fun boss battle, why not, right? All right. Of course. Oh god. Yeah, we gotta. If there's one that's taking shots at me, I'm gonna have to take him out. So the idea behind these guys is that, you know, these are your sort of lesser wraiths created by the Witch King. I'm gonna heal. Oh, that was not good. Oh, unfortunate. Oh no. All right, well. Oh, that was my last save, though. Back here? I might have a more recent save than that. I should, as soon as I realized it was a boss, I could have saved it. Yeah, okay, here we are. This is better. I should have saved it as soon as I realized it was a boss. But yeah. But absolutely, the item that would have really helped Frodo there would have been the armor that Bilbo gave him later. So, you know, Bilbo had that sitting in a museum in Meikle Delving, and then took it back and had it with him in Rivendell, so he was... unfortunate. He was thinking to himself, boy, that's kind of unfortunate. Here, if I would have given that to Frodo, you know, with everything else, he wouldn't have had that wound, you know? All right, let's try to not fail at this. He wouldn't have had that wound at all. He wouldn't have nearly died. I think I have to wait for it to get a little closer. Okay, there we go. They're all mad and looking for new homes because Gandalf just took down the Necromancer. Yeah. Actually, the credit for driving the Necromancer out of Mirkwood should be given to Saruman.
Objects fit on these pedestals.
Alright, I'm going to make a save here in case I almost beat that guy, but not quite. Just so we don't have to do that jumping part again. That's unfortunate that he made it happen right where I was. Yeah. My thought is maybe if I leave the one there, he won't summon any more. So far, that's working. Because I think if I get all of them down, he'll summon more. Get. Alright, there we go. Victory. Yeah, Gandalf claimed that it was through the device of Saruman that the Witch King, the Necromancer, was banished. Chili cheese fries and hush puppies. Oh, that sounds good. Well, you saw that I made ribs. Did you see the pictures? I made some ribs today, and we had just potatoes with that. It was really good. All right, nothing else to grab. Let's head off in this direction. Oh, more of this, huh? No, this is the direction I came from. I'm really glad there's not more of that. I see a treasure chest, though. Let's see what we got in here. Let me save it before we attempt to open that. There's another bit of a leavings from the dwarf. Looks like one of the dwarves looks like a boot or something. Uh-oh. Just barely. Just barely. They were really good. They were really good ribs. Made a really big batch of barbecue sauce. And I was thinking that I might send some to Sid. Sid Kemp from the Council of Tolkien. Because I was talking on the phone with him today.
This boot belongs to Ori.
Ori's boot. Okay. Because I was on the phone with him earlier, and I mentioned that I was cooking ribs, and he's just sort of like, "Oh, are you gonna send me some?" I said I could probably send you some barbecue sauce, but not making the chili. Interesting. I'm not saying that's wrong. It's unusual. All right, chill. All right. There we go. I have to remember with the green spiders, the best way to handle them is to let them come to you and just do that instead of, wasting your power attack. He actually named, in the video game here, he named the sword Sting as soon as he got it. But this is actually the level that he should name the sword Sting, because the spiders said that he has a sting. And after... Oh god, I didn't realize there was more than one. After killing spiders, he decided to name it Sting. That's terrible. Immediately poisoned. Alright, back up. How did that happen? Unfortunate. Well, I'm out of antidotes, so I'm pretty much screwed now. Oh god, they're everywhere. Oh, god, use the ring. I should have used the ring to begin with. I sometimes forget that it's a mechanic in this. But that's okay, I just basically saved it. Not making the chili is interesting. It's 2025 and all you want is to be able to eat the things that people talk about through the internet. Hey, that would be great technology if we could just sort of send food through the internet somehow, right? I also do the dark chocolate thing when I make chili. Or if I have semi-sweet or baker's chocolate. This is bad. This is really bad. So many spiders all at once. God, I'm just trying to think of like what Hobbit chili would be like, but it would probably be loaded up with mushrooms, which is very much not to my taste. Speaking of mushrooms. Alright, I know I'm going to be attacked here, but maybe I could kind of play it safe here. And trying to bottleneck them, but it's easier said than done. Alright, I got all the poison ones. Still, good to have a bottleneck. Especially since I don't think the big one can fit through here. Oh, it can. Alright. Going back to the White Lord arena. My least favorite enemy in the game is the spiders. Alright. Now we just have the large one. Outer cup. Oh! Lazy lob. 3 fat spiders sitting in a tree. Hey, we did it. There is, but I was running for my life. I was panicking. Let me save it again. It plays like Zelda, but it's not as good as Zelda. You know what I mean? It's fun, but it's not quite on that level of control. You know. I have so much money. I'm gonna have to, after this level, spend it on more potions. I didn't buy anything going into this level because I was so concerned with missing a video, but I did find it, so that's good. Well, maybe there'll be a potion in here. Let me save it in case this is going to be difficult. Far more sweet than other meat. Yeah, there we go. There's a line from Flies and Spiders. Oh! Okay, my bad. Alright. That's not good. That's not... I don't know, like, there's a little bit of Bilbo rubbed off on me because whenever I'm trying to... There's a technique in gaming... Oh, that's awful. Known as kiting. And what that basically means is drawing an enemy towards you to bring it into a more advantageous position, which was being done, you know, a little while ago with the spiders and drawing them where I could bottleneck them. But whenever I'm trying to get an enemy to kite it to come towards me in a video game, I get a little Bilbo-ish, like, hey, come on, don't you want a bite of this? You know, I'm delicious. Oh, I missed my opportunity. Uh-oh. Yeah, I didn't have the time. This is a very tough one. Some of the lockpicking is very hard in this game. I pretty much don't have room for error here. Got it. Ah, water's a figure. Okay, yeah, let's use that. Alright, now we're talking. Oh, boy, let me save it. Water's a vigor. See, that must be something even... Maybe that's the Mirovar, or the Elvish Mead, right? Oh, hey, Jazz. How's it going? I'm sorry I didn't see you there. I'm sorry I didn't see you there. How's it going, Jazz Master? You learned the kiting from Dark Souls. Yeah, it's an old term. Using brisket is next level. Very true. Oh, there's a save point. I'm sorry, I didn't see. I didn't see you come in. Yeah, and this is a game from 2003. But it's not based on any of the movies or anything. The developer had only the rights to the books, and they made this, and they made the Fellowship of the Ring, and they were working on doing like a Two Towers game, but then they lost the license, and you know the Two Towers game that was based on the movie came out, which is a pretty good game. So. Jump off. Fall to my death. Oh, wow. With all that health. Okay. Oh, that was bad. So GameCube and InstaClick. Hey, Bard, man. Yeah, I do own this game, by the way. I'm playing on an emulator, but I do physically own this game. I used to, way back in the day, I used to collect all the GameCube games I could get. It was my wish to have all the GameCube games released in the United States. It didn't happen, but I got most of the very rare ones and a lot of just other random ones. And I do remember specifically getting The Hobbit, especially since, you know, being a Tolkien scholar. But I didn't play it until years later. Alright. Probably best to... Yeah, there we go. Alright. I think the pink ones are worth a lot. Okay. Getting kind of close to a level up. Well, I don't need the mushroom. I think if I just jump and jump. Alright, alright. Now we're talking. Alright, Bilbo. I'm guessing this is going to go up. And there's a treasure chest there. Ugh, that was not good. Oh no. I didn't make a save either, so I have plenty of health this time at least. Oh, I got poisoned though. All right, let me save and try this again. Last one. Whew. Oh, Master Sword Tactics. That's very good. So that should increase my proficiency with the sword, and we can do a spin attack. So, Pokemon Box has gotten... You know, I remember trying to track down that Pokemon Box Ruby and Sapphire thing back in the day, and I gave up after a while because it was like... Even then, I couldn't find any that weren't like, $300, $400. I'm not gonna spend that amount, I don't care how, because it's not even really a game. All right. How much is it for now? But yeah, but now we have a spin attack, which I'll show off once I'm on safe ground. Oh God. This isn't what I would call safe ground, but... Like 2.5 month rent? In what city? Good God. I just can't fathom why the demand for it's so high. So this is the spin. Which is useful. So a good technique to do, especially on some of the tougher goblins, is you do this, that knocks them down, and then you try and get them while they're down with that. Over $2,000. That's crazy. Let me make a save here because I don't want to go through all that again. That was not the button. I loaded instead of saved. Well, you're not a gamer unless you've done that at least once, right? Just like you're not a Tolkien scholar if you didn't talk about Tom Bombadil in depth at least once. At least I nailed it. It's like, I really want that Master Sword techniques, that's... Also, interesting phrasing in a game that plays like The Legend of Zelda. Master Sword. I took a little damage, but that's okay. The purple health is temporary anyway. Alright, now, make sure it says save, not load. There we go. All right. Bilbo Baggins, the greatest little hobbit of them all. I think this is back towards where I fought the White Lord. Let me... Yeah, it is. Okay. I wasn't sure if I was going the right way or not. It's a rough area when there's two save points practically within sight of each other. Like if you go right over here, you could see there's a save point over there. Now I'd have to go further, I guess. There it is. Practically within sight. Yeah, actually, you can see the other one from here. It's a rough area when they're that close together. Yep, that was a song by Leonard Nimoy. I wonder what inspired him to record a song about Bilbo like that. The Ballad of Bilbo Baggins is what it was called. Oh, good. Wait till we have just a Twitch stream. It's not a Tolkien stream, and you can curse all you want. Your dog's name is Bilbo, Bo for short? That's so cute. There was a point where we had a dog that we had considered the name Galadriel, but decided against it. Actually, can I just kind of... No. That's just a big mushroom that I don't actually need right now. But that was... It's too long of a name for a dog. Oh, hey there, Zach. How's it going? Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're here. Oh, we're not getting past that. I have to figure out what I'm doing here. I think I was wrong to drop all the way down. I think I need to use this to get further. All right. Yeah, I think I shouldn't have dropped back down. Like, this would have been a good point to put that part in the book, even though that we're already past that point because he was with the dwarves when he did it. But they could have included it in some way of Bilbo climbing to the very top of Mirkwood and seeing the above the canopy and all the black butterflies and everything. Oh, I see. This is where we want to be, huh? Okay, that's a little dangerous, but we'll wait till it's safe. Here we go. But now what? Yeah, I'm not actually sure. Although I think I aha. All right. Here we go. What are you having for dinner, by the way? I have kind of a rule in my streams, whether it's Tolkien or not. Well, yeah. Look at that. I forgot that they did this. So they did do it. See? It's been so long since I played this that I forgot that they did do it. Cockoroth is a disgruntled... That's funny. A disgruntled spaniel. I like the wordplay there. So they did do it. I was just talking about how they should, and I guess I had forgotten since the last time I played this that you do go above the canopy and you see all the black butterflies that Bilbo had described in the book as being above the canopy of Mirkwood. So it's almost like a blind playthrough when it's been so long. Alright, I do need the health potions. Hopefully I don't have to use that so soon. Alright, I want to save it again before I head down into that log. Now, unfortunately, when Bilbo went to the top of the forest and he looked out, he didn't know that they were very close to the edge of the forest because all he could see was forest for miles in every direction. And he didn't know that he was at the bottom of a valley, and that's why he was looking at a hill. All right. So it sort of made them lose hope, and that's why they went off the path and got captured by spiders and eventually locked up by a bunch of elves, which is going to lead to the next section. Oh boy, here we go. Come on, Attercop, lazy lob. Bilbo. Oh, with heavy. Wait, make it go. Bilbo. The greatest adventure. Lettuce wrap tacos. That sounds fun. With ground turkey, black beans, red onions, chopped tomatoes, Mexican cheese, and light sour cream. That sounds really fun. I hope you enjoy it. I think any food is better when wrapped in a tortilla, although obviously you're doing lettuce wraps, but still. Two for one. Oh, God. Come on. Not shout. Ooh. Got it. Okay. Large romaine. Yeah, I would assume you'd use romaine for that. That does sound good. The tortilla, Mexico's edible plate. Yeah, pretty much, right? Oh, dear. I'm cornered now. Oh, you've really done it now, Carl. All right. Hey. Oh, no. All right. Hold on. Get rid of that. All right. There we go. There's a level up. Woo. Oh, of course. How old are your little ones? Oh, dear. They keep coming. Oh, there's some mushrooms over here, too, which is good. I have to knock him down. I'm actually not the largest fan of black beans. I prefer pinto beans, but, yeah, you know, tacos are just, you know, wonderful. Nice. And I got an antidote, which is good because I used a bunch of them. Oh my God! Oh, it absolutely was when I saw that, because it was interesting. A lot of people that I knew watched that same episode, and which I can't talk about most of the subject matter. Oh, you're having tacos as well, WT. What are you putting in yours? 7 years and 3.5 years. That's great. That's adorable. Cornbread with chili. I can't eat cornbread. It's delicious, but I can't eat it. It messes with my, I have a GERD. And cornbread messes with me, unfortunately. Cornbread with chili is really good, and I used to eat it in the past, but now I can't any longer. But the Lemmy Winks episode of South Park, and it's really disgusting what's happening, as that show often is. But I remember I saw it, and as soon as they started singing, you know, Lemmy Winks, Lemmy, I was like, this is the Hobbit. This is the Rankin Bass Hobbit, and you know, the greatest adventure. That's another thing I got to return to is reacting and doing an analysis of the Hobbit Rankin Bass special. Trout and crock-pot beans this eve. That sounds delicious. I haven't had trout in a bit, actually. It's been about 1.5 years since I last ate trout. The fact that I know it's been that long is kind of freeze rocks. Okay. All right. Come on. Oh, okay. Those I don't want to mess with till I clear out the spiders. Oh! Okay. Oh! I didn't see you there, sir. So yeah, I don't recommend anybody to watch South Park, really, because it's really messed up. But oh yeah, as soon as I saw that, and people were like, "What is that?" with the singing and I was like, "That was the Hobbit." And people like, "Are you sure?" I'm very sure. Oh, it didn't really work that well, did it? Well, it did freeze him. No. I think what I'd like to do here is... Oh god, not that. Not that. I had an idea, but it wasn't good. Pink beans? Good choice. Alright, wait for it. These remind me of those plants in East 3. I don't know if anybody in the chat, other than Alice, has played East, but... That's the thing. It was so unpredictable, you know. But yeah, that was definitely they referenced it a few times because they would come back to that, and there were some of the South Park video games that referenced it as well. But I was like, yeah, that's the Hobbit, you know. Although my favorite song from a Rankin Bass special was from actually not from the Hobbit. It was from it was from The Return of the King. Where there's a whip, there is a way. That's unfortunate. Let me load that up again. We don't want to go to war today. But the Lord of the Lashes says, nay, nay, nay. We're all just pawns in the Dark Lord's war. And it is based on a line from the book where one of the orcs says, Where there's a whip, there's a will. Yeah, it's a great song. I think Tolkien would have liked that, even though he would have hated everything else about it. Absolutely did play them. The Two Towers was fantastic. Return of the King, even better. And I will be streaming them at some point and putting them up as videos to analyze them. And of course, those are based on the movies, but that doesn't mean we can't analyze them. The only issue is this: that they do show movie footage, so I might have to be careful about the copyright. But well, let's just say I've won every copyright battle I've ever been in on YouTube. And whoa, not good. Oh, there's a line def there stopping them from approaching. Oh, Moogle, could you ban that guy, please? There's a big one, though. Shoot. I have never played the Third Age, and I would love to play that one. Was that on... What platform was that available on? Because that's one that I've always wanted to play. Yeah, there's a line def stopping them from going any further. I can't believe that didn't hit him. All right. Get out of here. Watch out, watch out, watch out. Thank you, Moogle. Tolkien would have liked Shore's score. Oh, absolutely. I think that all of the music associated with... Oh, okay. All right. So I could play that on pretty much anything. All of the music associated with the adaptations he would have liked. He might have had a little bit of an issue with that troll song from The Rings of Power, but I don't know. As somebody who does like heavy metal, I thought that was pretty cool. All right. I've always wanted to play that game. I'll have to... That's definitely going to go on the list. All right. Look how long this level is. Uh-oh. Great. That's my last antidote. And I'm out of antidotes. Oh, oh. Oh my god, why can't I hit them? There we go. Hopefully I don't die from poison right now. Any health laying around? Oh god. Jesus. A Luvatar. I only have one rock left. So I do see a save point up ahead. I can heal, but I'm trying to save the heal potion if I can. There's a mushroom there at least. Wait, wasn't there a really large mushroom somewhere not too far back? Oh, okay. What is is it? What is it? 12 Monkeys that we're gonna watch? I've always. Oh, I guess I took it already. I'm a little tired of the disease movies, but I've always wanted to see that one. He would have hated him, Almighty Santa. Tolkien would have absolutely no compassion for a man like Varg. He would have found him to be detestable. Yeah, I'm going to have to try that Third Age game at some point. It's definitely going to go on the list. I want to play more of the Tolkien-related video games for sure. All right, let's see what we can get in this. All right, I got a couple of potions. Where to now? Probably just through here? No. So this is just a corner where there's a save point. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to be streaming Tolkien-related games. Well, not old games, but Tolkien-related content pretty much most Thursdays. It'll be the last. Yeah, I'm relieved, too. I did really enjoy that. Well, oh, God, what was it called? Was that Contagion, the one with Lawrence Fishburne? That was a really good film. I enjoyed that.
If I don't cut those dwarves down, the spiders will eat them for sure.
Oh, I remember this part. I don't know why the spider's called Wicked, but...
Who intrudes? Is some creature trying to steal our food?
I think I'd better hurry.
I'm going to have to heavily use the One Ring in this section. I remember this being an absolute nightmare. Alright. It doesn't prevent them from coming at you, but it kind of confuses them. Oh, no, he got me. Even though I'm invisible. Alright, well, I mainly wanted to go and scout out some health. I know. It was such a good movie, though. I'd never seen it before just a few weeks ago. I believe I know what game you're talking about. Oh, of course I got poisoned. Alright. Unfortunately, you can't attack while you have the ring on. I think I'm cooked. Let's see if I can survive this. Alright, I'm not poisoned anymore. Let's put the ring back on and see if any of the mushrooms have grown back, because sometimes they do. Yeah. Alright. The mushrooms, like, eventually grow back. Ah, that's really not great. It's not that the spiders are endless here, but they, there's a lot of them. Ow. And I do remember that Hobbit game. Oh, I wasn't on the sword, no wonder. Hey, all right. To be honest, the rocks are better at killing the small spiders, so I should probably just equip the rocks for a little while. But then you climb through this, and there's more spiders that appear. So they do look like rupees, don't they? Yeah, they're called courage points. They act as the experience points in this game. The actual money are the little, it looks like a pill on the lower right-hand corner of the screen, which is a silver penny, which is the actual currency of the Shire and Breland. Ah. Because it's like stuck. Maybe I should do it like this. That worked. Right, this one doesn't have a dwarf in it, does it? Okay. With the One Ring turn men into a Nazgul. Well, yeah, that is what it did. I think you mean a Hobbit. Gollum didn't become a Nazgul because when he had the ring, there was no Lord of the Rings. so he didn't have to worry about being controlled by the One Ring. Well, because he wasn't the Lord of the Ring. He definitely changed over time, but it's so different from the other rings. Does this encompass the whole Hobbit? Yes. You don't fight Smaug because Bilbo doesn't fight Smaug, but there is like a stealth section where you have to go down and steal the goblet, like in the book, and then the last boss is you have to rescue Beorn so that he could kill the Great Goblin. I actually have not played those games yet. I am planning on doing it. Let's make a save here. I have not played the most recent. I'm a little behind on the Legend of Zelda. The most recent one that I played was the one on the 3DS, the Link Between Worlds. I became more enamored of the East series. Oh, that was one of the dwarves. Okay, that's fine. I'll just load that save. What was I doing? And then Bilbo died, and there was no sequel. But yeah, Lake Town is its own level. It encompasses the entire... It's not like the Lego Hobbit where you're missing out on half the game. That's Bofur. And Bomber. Bofur and Bomber. They look like there were three of them. Probably Bifur. Alright, I hear combat music, so... I think more spiders appear every time you rescue dwarves. I hate when they skitter around like that. Are you stuck? That's not good for you, isn't it? But yeah, one day I'll play those and I'll let you know. I do hear skittering, but... Oh boy. God, I forgot what the red ones do. They're not going to come near me, are they? There we go. Oh, they're just tougher. And they're poisonous. That's great. Oh, unfortunate. Enjoy the tacos. If you want to watch it, you're going to have to watch it on Twitch because I'm gonna cut these into video. Well, it looks like it's only going to be one. I don't think I'm going to be getting through more than one level today because these levels are very long. There we go. But I'm going to cut it into a video for YouTube that'll go up for members first. Yeah, so probably Bifur. There's Bomber and Bofur there, but probably also Bifur is usually associated with those two. I know they're going to attack. I'm just waiting for it to happen. Great. You can just stay up there, aren't you? Damn. Oh! I don't want to do that. I think I'm out of antidotes now, so... We'll just have to let the poison run its course and then... Were there any possible dragons in the early drafts of the Lord of the Rings? No, the only time that dragons are mentioned are really when they talk about on Calagon and the idea of somehow getting a dragon to melt the One Ring, and how Gandalf basically said that's not possible. I was a little on the fence about Devil May Cry because I felt like it wasn't really doing it for me until the second half. That was really good. Alright, let's maybe get out of here. Or I think I need to go up. I can still hear the skittering. Definitely not up. I didn't kill all the spider. Oh, this will take me all the way down. All right. Which I think is what I need to do. There we go. We can at least fill up our health down here. Yeah, I think this is the only level we're going to be able to get through today because it's a very long level. Well, I'm not hearing the skittering anymore, at least. I'm not sure if this is the way I went last time, or... Yeah, that was really good. I enjoyed that one. Yeah, this is the way I went before. Let me go on the other side. There's different ways to go to rescue different dwarves. I do like the way that Sting is a light source, even though it shouldn't be glowing in this section. You notice that when he's hanging from the ledge, it gets darker because he puts the sword away. So that's a cool little attention to detail. Alright. Yeah, I just remember this part being a whole nightmare. Let me go ahead and save it here. This part's just a whole nightmare. There's a save point here anyway. You might be able to tell from my older save being on there that the last level is called the Clouds Burst. That's where it's the Battle of Five Armies. Alright. Cut down the dwarves. Huh. Dwaylen. And Balin. And another one. So that's 3. I wonder who the other... Dwaylen and Balin are usually paired together because they are brothers. They don't usually pair them with the third one. Oh god. Those red ones are very tough. Hope I don't die from the poison. Alright, we're good. Alright. I mean, I'll be able to fill up my health once I go down there. Which I guess I just climb down. There might be more spiders, though. Glowering's weak spot was mostly protected by the ground because he crawled. Why make dragons that can fly reveal their weak spot? Well, I think, yeah, obviously that's a point of a weakness, but it's actually mentioned in The Hobbit that dragons usually flew in a manner to protect their bellies with their wings. And that Smaug was just very arrogant and overconfident of his armor. And so he paid no heed to protecting his belly, and that's why he was able to get shot in the breast by Bard once Bard was told of the weak point. Waiting for the sword to charge up. Okay. Hey, okay. See if we can find me some mushrooms. But you're absolutely right about Glaurung, and that, you know, Turin had to wait for him to sort of stretch himself across a chasm there, the Leap of the Deer, which became known as I believe the Leap of Dread afterwards. Didn't Smaug have a bunch of... Yes. Yeah, he did. That was his armor. It was gems and gold and silver that acted as his armor, and Bilbo sort of manipulated him into showing it. Because he said, hey, aren't dragons weak in their bellies? And he rolled over and showed him, as he see my armor? And of course, Bilbo noted that there was a spot that was bare. And he mentioned that to the dwarves, which they didn't really know what to make of it. That wasn't that useful for them. But the old thrush that heard them passed that information on to Bard right before Bard was able to take the killing shot there. So yeah, but it is specifically mentioned in The Hobbit that Smaug was flying in a way that exposed his belly because he was overconfident that makeshift armor was going to protect him. And he didn't know that there was a spot that was bare. So Oin,
Let's get out of here.
and I assume Gloin and one other with him. So that's nine of them. We got up to rescue 12. Thorin's with the elves right now. That sounds like he's dead or something, right? Like, say, where is he? He's with Jesus. I don't know where that red one went. Yeah, there was one spot where he wasn't protected by gems. And that's where Bard struck him with the arrow that he had, the black arrow. Okay, doing pretty good. Alright. I think the spin attacks work better than... Oh, but I mistimed it. Alright, like I said, there's 12 dwarves to rescue because Thorin's not here right now. I still hear the skittering, but... I don't know. Actually, I think I might have to go over there. Let's see. Oh, I did not survive that, did I? Well, thankfully, I had just saved it, so it's okay. That wasn't correct at all. Did Morgoth suggest to use jewels? I mean, the first flying dragon probably didn't think. No, it was more that because you see. Oh man, well they did it in the Rankin Bass special, but the idea is that gold specifically is the element in the world that Morgoth's power is the most focused in. Water is the least focused of Morgoth's power. And gold is the most, which is why... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Which is why gold causes that intense avarice, the dragon's sickness, and why dragons themselves are so attracted to gold. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. But it came about the way that it was described because specifically that Smaug had laid on the no on the gold and the silver and the gems for so long that it became just sort of stuck to him and crusted onto his body. Now, I did not like the movie The Desolation of Smaug, but I really don't understand when people say that was the best of the three. It was not. The best was the first one, but or at least the least bad, I should say. But what's interesting about it is that there was that scene where they... Oh! Boss. I was trying to grab health. It's boss time. Yeah, it's these three spider sisters. There was a scene where they went through this whole... I'm going to save it. Rigmarole of starting up the forges and melting a whole bunch of gold and then, trying to drown him in it. And my thought, when he... Tom Noddy is another, sort of old English insult that essentially means, fool. But, they douse him with the gold, and my thought when I was watching it is, this is smart. They're going in a very good direction here, because what they could do here is he didn't have his armor from the books. He wasn't covered in jewels, as he should have been. But I want to take out these little ones first. There we go. Maybe the idea behind it could be that by doing this, they give him his armor. That they made him stronger when in an attempt to kill him, and then that would lead to maybe there was this one spot that wasn't so well covered in gold. Nope. But they didn't do that because he immediately shakes it off like a wet dog. Oh, good thing I just got a antidote. Alright, that worked out for me. So it went from something that I was like, okay, I can respect their intent here, and I see where they're going with it. I was like, oh no, I gave them too much credit. They didn't go in the direction that I thought they would. Yeah, we did it. And that's a level up.
Nasty, a life for a life. She will be avenged.
We can see this as sort of maybe Shelob's siblings, maybe. Lazy Lob. Alright, very useful. It's not going well right now. Hey, there we go. The barrel scene was pretty bad, yeah. I think like just the idea of the barrel scene was pretty bad, and then the execution of it was kind of a nightmare. Alright, I'm gonna need to... It's so interesting that when you're running away, they pursue you, but then when you're trying to... chase them down, they avoid you. Alright, got it.
You killed both my sisters.
They do, yeah. I think that Rankin Bass was a big influence on this, even though this isn't based on that. Sort of like how the Lord of the Rings on Super NES was not based on... It was based on the books, but a lot of the influence was the Ralph Bakshi film. Oh. Oh, ice now? That's not as useful. Okay. I'm a little scared of that red one. Do I have any I do have antidotes. Alright, get out of there, though. Alright. That's better. Oh, don't do that, don't do that. Alright, ooh. It's like I'm remembering how to play. Oh. Oh, why does that keep happening to me? Alright, I need health. The Spine of Night. I've never heard... Alice, if you're there, have you ever heard of that one? I've seen a lot of Rankin Bass films. One that I liked quite a bit was Wizards. Obviously, I like The Lord of the Rings as well. But I'm a fan of anything psychedelic, to be honest with you. I should probably spin there instead of doing what I'm doing. It didn't work that well, actually. Hey. That was a very long level, huh? You've heard of it? Maybe we should watch that one day.
Oh, the webs are gone now. I'd better catch up with the dwarves.
That was the perfect time, since he was looking at the sword, to say, and I'd name you Sting. But he already did it when I first found it in the troll level. That's gory. That's interesting. Okay, so I missed some chests here, but I did all the quests, and I got, well, most of the courage points in the level and most of the money. So let me go ahead and buy some stuff here. Let's see. Let's see. Fill up on these, and then grab one of these. Okay. And then maybe this. I'm spending all of Bilbo's money here. But he's going to be very rich after this. Is there more lore behind the glowing swords in Gandalf and Elrond? Yes, absolutely. So those swords were made in a place called Gondolin, and they were supposed to sort of be the early warning system. The Gondolin was a walled city, and it was in this mountain range called the Crisagrim. And it was very difficult to get there. You had to know the way, and then to even know the way, you had to go past 7 gates with 7 sort of armies guiding them. And the idea of where this was located was very close to where Morgoth was. So they were sort of hiding very close to Morgoth. And the idea was that these swords would be sort of the early warning system that if Morgoth ever did discover the location of Gondolin and attack, that the orcs would set off the swords, they would start glowing, and they would be able to be sort of forewarned. And unfortunately, that didn't happen because he sent dragons and balrogs first. And the dragons and balrogs created a whole bunch of chaos and started tearing apart the city before the orcs even arrived. So it didn't work out so well for them. But the idea is that, and you see this a lot in Tolkien's work, where when a person makes something really special, a craft that is really very special, they put a little bit of themselves into it, or sometimes a lot of themselves. We see it with Feanor and the Silmarils. We see it with Yavanna and the 2 Trees of Valinor. We see it with Sauron and the One Ring. He put most of himself into the ring, I would say. In the case of these swords, it was the elvish hatred of orcs that was put into it that burned like a blue flame, which is why orcs set off this blue flame sort of effect. Now, it's really interesting because in The Hobbit, Glamdring doesn't actually glow until Gandalf kills a goblin with it, and then it like starts to sort of feed off of the goblins and starts glowing, whereas Sting just sort of glows whenever they're around. So they definitely behave a little bit differently. But then again, The Hobbit was written, before the Fall of Gondolin was really finished. So there was a very primitive version of it. And Tolkien was actually planning on rewriting The Hobbit. After The Lord of the Rings, he was going to go back and rewrite The Hobbit and sort of present it as, this is the story as it really happened. The previous version was just the story that Bilbo told, and his friends sort of talked him out of it. They said, don't do that, leave The Hobbit alone. It's very special the way it is. And I agree with that. But he was going to put in a lot of stuff that explained these sort of things. They start shining white with hatred. I mean, well, that's the way that Glamdring was described. Whereas with Sting, it's always blue around the edges, which is really interesting. like a blue fire. You think Tolkien put himself into the Lord of the Rings, and that's why Shadow of the Past was dropped? I think what you're saying is the New Shadow. The New Shadow. He found the New Shadow to be rather depressing to write and read, so he wasn't so interested in it, which is why he stopped. But the New Shadow actually explained a few things like about giants and stuff, which was interesting. But what, like, he was going to rewrite the whole Hobbit, and it was going to explain all these things, like why couldn't Gandalf read the runes that were on these swords from Gondolin? Because when he wrote the Hobbit, Gandalf was just a wizard, like just some old guy who knew magic. And it was later that he came up with the idea of him being an angel sent by the Valar and everything. So he should know these things. And the explanation was going to be that the swords, when they found them in the Troll Horde, were just so dirty and with old blood and dirt that they were illegible. And that when they brought them to Rivendell, that Elrond cleaned them properly and was able to read the runes. There's sort of these idea of, the Hobbit as told by Bilbo and the Hobbit as Gandalf would tell it. And it's alluded to in the story, the Quest of Erebor, where Gandalf makes comments on Bilbo's book and says, I would have written it very differently. I would have written it very differently. Now, unfortunately, that level took up like pretty much the whole stream. So I'm gonna stop the recording here.